Hello humans, Allison and Toni here with BlueLion, your favorite HR partners. This week we are coming to you with a question we often get while we're out networking and kind of getting around seeing various prospects, which is, why would I ever outsource my HR?
Why?
Why? Very simple.
We're awesome. Good start.
There's number one. We're awesome. But no, it really comes back to getting back to business. Yeah. So how to save money, save time, and be effective and efficient.
Yeah.
That's why we're outsourcing.
Yeah, I mean, time is a huge piece. Think about a lot of our small businesses that we do, HR outsourcing for. If you're under a certain number of employees, generally you don't have somebody fully dedicated. So
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. You have somebody who's doing your finances, or your office manager who's trying to run inventory, maybe check up on team members, running payroll, all these things. And now you also want to load the HR piece on. And that person doesn't have an HR background. They're not sure what they don't know, what risks they might be putting the company at. And although we think the government cares about certain things, they don't care that ignorance exists. Ignorance is not bliss in the eyes of the government, and they're going to slam you with those fees. So having somebody dedicated helps give you back time, because then they can focus on other important things, maybe money generating things in your business, and take the focus of HR, a huge liability risk, off of their plate and onto somebody who can dedicate and focus on that specific aspect of your business.
Yeah, and I think you highlighted briefly too the compliance component. So one thing we often see almost every time we start working with a new client is you don't know what you don't know. Yeah. And the person who's currently taking on the HR role in that business is doing everything they can to do it right. They're researching where they can research. And sometimes you think you're doing things right, and then it turns out you weren't. And the Department of Labor doesn't necessarily care. So it really helps you to have that peace of mind knowing you have a trained HR professional that's handling the HR things. They're focused on HR, so they're not dividing their time amongst finances or all of these other things, and kind of HR is a side effect of their role. Yeah. Rather, it's the focus while we're there engaging with our clients. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the other thing too to keep in mind, especially in today's time, right, when it's hard to find people and it's hard to try and worry about turnover. HR is a hard position if you have turnover in. Who's the keeper of all the files? Who's the keeper of where insurance carriers are at? Who's the keeper of all this special information? Mm-hmm. And if you have turnover consistently in that role, it can get very difficult to know who's doing what, and things fall through the cracks. Yeah. So one great thing, again, about outsourcing HR is you have a consistent person and you don't have to worry about turnover. That's something your HR company has to worry about. And for BlueLion specifically, we cover to make sure that we have 2 people on accounts so that everyone knows what's going on as a backup. So even if we lose someone, we can take care of you appropriately without a skip of a beat. So paying attention to that is also really important, and the compensation piece of things, right?
Oh yeah, you don't have to cover things like benefits, a full annual salary. So remember, we're getting a piece of the pie, not paying for the whole pie, which is really beneficial, especially for small businesses. Like you mentioned at the beginning, when you're at a certain size, you don't need a full-time HR person. There's not enough work for a full-time HR person, but it's very hard that you would find an HR trained professional that is also wanting to do bookkeeping or also wanting to do your inventory management. Yeah. So that's really one of the other benefits of the outsourced HR.
Yeah. It's always worth checking out. If you don't have an HR company, sometimes I think people think, oh, I can't afford it. I can't afford outsourcing this particular functionality. But the reality of it is maybe you can. You're not sure until you reach out and ask. And for us specifically at BlueLion, we also really specialize in taking little pieces, right? Like you were saying, of the pie.
A la carte.
Just take a specific piece. So if your HR person right now, right, who's your office manager, is struggling with payroll, we can help with that. They're struggling with managing employee files, onboarding,
recruiting.
So many things.
Nobody has problems with recruiting.
No one has problems with that. And they can just outsource just a small piece to help alleviate some of that stress. And the time you get back, so valuable.
Definitely pays for itself. Excellent. Yeah. So if you do have any questions and you'd like to reach out, all of our contact information is available. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.